know about Association of Indian Management Schools? It's a 34-year-old networking body of B schools in India, having a membership of about 600 top management institutions. AIMS focuses on professionalization of management education, protects interests of B schools, represents management institutions at national and international forums, financially supports members in academic events, funds research projects on management, disseminates management-related knowledge through its annual Management Education Convention, conferences, seminars, roundtables and workshops, organizes free weekly webinars on knowledge sharing and inspiring young leaders sessions for management faculty and students, supports B schools in admissions through Atma, AIMS test for management admissions. Visit https://atmaims.com for more details. Publishes a biannual AIMS Journal of Management. Visit https://aimsjournal.com for more details. Circulates a quarterly e-newsletter on AIMS activities. Conducts workshops on case writing. Encourages AIMS members to be part of decision-making processes as members of chapter management committees and the executive board. Encourages students' participation in free weekly quiz competitions by providing support to interested institutions. Facilitates networking and interaction among B schools. Why would you like to remain a non-member of AIMS? Pay a very low one-time membership fee and enjoy many lifetime benefits. Visit https://aims.org.in for more details.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Nitesh, and I extend a warm welcome to all of you to this knowledge sharing session on Influencer Marketing 2.0, Strategies for the Modern Era. In today's ever-evolving digital landscape, the world of marketing has undergone a remarkable transformation. We stand at the threshold of a new era, one where new influencers have become a powerful allies for brands in reaching and engaging their targeted audience. Remember, the early days of influencer marketing when a single Instagram post could make or break the brand. So fast forward to the present, and you will find that the landscape has evolved into something more complex, more exciting, as well as more powerful too. So in the past, influencer marketing was often regarded as a novel experiment, that is an unconventional approach to the target audiences. But today, it has become an indispensable mainstay of the marketing industry. From niche bloggers and charismatic YouTubers to Instagram sensations and TikTok trailblazers, influencers have cemented their place in the digital ecosystem as trusted, authentic voice and resonate with millions. Influencer Marketing 2.0, where the rules of engagement have been completely rewritten. It's not just about throwing money at the popular social media figures and hoping for the best. Instead, it's about crafting strategic campaigns that resonate with today's tech-savvy and digitally connected audience. In this age, where a single tweet, a viral video, or an Instagram story can propel a brand to instant stardom, and the scope and influence of influencers have reached the unprecedented heights. As a marketer, we have witnessed this transformation and recognized the immense potential of these digital powerhouses to drive brand awareness, customer engagement, and conversion like never before. Today, you will hear from experts and thought leaders in the field who have at the forefront of this transformation, sharing their insights on the latest strategies, best practices, even examples that illustrate the true power of Influencer Marketing 2.0. So ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce a distinguished guest, Dr. Rashmi Mahajan, whose expertise and insights will illuminate our exploration of Influencer Marketing 2.0, that is strategies for modern era. Dr. Mahajan, a seasoned educator and accomplished professional. Currently holds the position of professor and deputy director at the esteemed institute. That is our Balaji Institute of International Business, Shri Balaji University, Pune. With remarkable 18 years of experience in teaching, Dr. Mahajan has left an indelible mark in the field of education. Her areas of expertise in brand management, services marketing, and retail management align perfectly with the evolving landscape of influencer marketing. As we delve into the strategies and nuances of the influencer marketing in this modern era, Dr. Mahajan's wealth of knowledge and experience will undoubtedly provide us with invaluable perspective and guidance. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending warm welcome to Dr. Mahajan as we look forward to her contribution and discussion. But before I hand over this platform to her, there are a few instructions that all the participants has to follow. So the first instruction is participants will not be able to unmute themselves, but if they have any questions, they can put in the chat box and we will take it in the question and answer session. Second instruction is feedback or attendance link will be shared in the Q&A session and is available only for 15 minutes, right? And the last one is certificates will be issued to the participants, only those who submit the feedback form. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Rashmi Mahajan. Ma'am, the platform is all yours.
Thank you, Dr. Behare. Thank you for this lovely and warm, humbling kind of an introduction. The way you introduced itself talks about the importance of this particular topic that I'm daring to talk in front of the learned faculty members. Most of you must already have some amount of research done in this area. So you've said a lot of, you've given a lot of keywords. You talked about the powerhouses. You talked about it being a very, very important kind of a tool that today's marketers use. So yes, that is exactly what we are going to see. We are going to see how, influencer marketing is playing a major role in transforming the way companies, brands are trying to engage with the customers. So let me quickly share my screen. Before I share my screen, I would also like to thank AIMS to give me this opportunity to interact with lovely faculty members across this platform. So influencer marketing is what Dr. Behare also was introducing, was talking about it being the talk of today and an important tool that is used by marketers. So what is influencer marketing? So it is nothing but a type of social marketing endorsements and product mentions from influencers. These are individuals who are dedicated, who have dedicated, amount of followers in terms of, on the social media. And these are experts in their own niche. So niche could be anything. I mean, today you can see people talking and blogging on various topics such as automobile. It could be digital medium. It could be cell phones and so on and so forth. So these individuals have dedicated followers on the social media platform who are their followers. So influencers who are influencing these customers, and the marketing done through them by the brand is nothing but is on the social media platforms is influencer marketing. So who are these influencers? They are typically identified as social media micro celebrities that companies, brand typically work with to promote their products online. Because they believe that the reach is maximum, they can connect with the specific target audience, because we've already established that these influencers have their respective niche. So whoever is following them are dedicated and are interested in that particular topic and area. So when the brands take advantage of these influencers, they believe that they have a better chance of trying to convince the customers for a better engagement and maybe a better kind of an effective marketing program and campaign. Now, here, Dr. Behare was also talking about it being the latest trend. But is it as latest? Because influencing has always been around since the day the marketeers and the companies decided to market. It will be very interesting to know that there was a potter, a British potter by the name of Joshua Wedgwood. So Wedgwood was a potter who was making and creating a cream-colored artwork. And in fact, this artwork of his caught the eye of the then Queen Charlotte, way back in 1765. And she liked his artwork so much that she started giving an approval to him. And he was also started to know as Her Majesty's potter. Wedgwood was so intelligent that he thought, let me use the Queen herself as an influencer in those era, in that particular, dated back, way back in 1765. And he thought of naming his artwork by the name, and he honored her and called his product Queen's Wear, which is also available till date. So that could interestingly be the first example of influencer. And who was the influencer? The influencer was the Queen herself. There are also instances where way back in 1882, the then actresses were influencing the public, the people who were following them, to use certain products. So if you see on the screen, you'll see pairs using such an actress called as Lily Langtry way back in 1882 to endorse their product, the Pears soap. Similarly, Coca-Cola also has used the character of Santa Claus to convince. So if you see, influencing has always existed. But does it exist as it was existing in those olden times today? Well, if you see, influencer marketing is changing. Why? Because companies believe that it has high amount of influencing capability, because the influencers are having the kind of followers that these people have. It helps them to convince these followers through the influencers, because these followers believe that whatever the influencers are saying acts as a social proof for the brand that these influencers are trying to endorse. Statistics also proves that around 92% of customers trust recommendations given by their friends, family, and influencers. Out of which around 70% of teens trust these influencers more than the traditional celebrities. Influencing has always been done by celebrities till now, but that has changed in these last decade or so, more so in these last 5 to 7 years. It is also seen that around the campaigns done by the influencers prove to be effective, more than the digital campaign, the standard digital campaign, and the return on investment is found to be more than 11 times as compared to the digital campaign. More than 70% of people are found to have been using social media to discover products and to make a purchase decision. So this is where the companies feel that influencer marketing is going to be very important, because it is a hot new strategy for brands who are looking to expand their reach. Now, when you talk about reach, brands could have multiple goals in mind. They would want to maybe increase the brand awareness, or they want to reach out to new customers, or even boost conversions. So around more than 90% of marketeers are seen to be practicing influencer marketing nowadays. You cannot, the brands, the companies cannot ignore this kind of marketing, because it is proven fact that it has more amount of effectiveness than the traditional marketing. So because of this, it is seen that in the year 2020, around 70% of marketeers have increased their influencer marketing budget so that they invest more effectively and efficiently into influencers and influencer marketing campaigns for better returns. In this last 1 year, around 1,000 crore was invested in the influencers. And if you see, the market is also growing by 30 to 35%. It is such a emerging industry that is expected to reach around 3,000 crore by the end of next year. Traditionally, influencing was more or less done by cricketers, actors, these people who are very, very influential. But it is a trend that is seen that in these last 5 to 7 years, this concept is changing a little. Nowadays, the influencers that we see are ageless, if I can call. They are some very common people like you and me. As young as people as young as 20 years of age can become influencers today. Some very prominent influencers that you need to reckon with are Ranveer Allahabadi, Bhuvan Bam, Sandeep Maheshwari, Prajakta Kohli, Ashish Chanchalani, Ankur Variku, just to name a few. All of them have their own niche and expertise. They have their own set of followers. So if you see, there is a paradigm shift of the utilization of influencers, moving from these popular cricketers, actors, maybe singers, to somebody who is a common man. And you'll find that these people who are acting as influencers are much more effective than even the actors that the companies could use. So what are the strategies? What are the strategies that the brands and companies are actually using nowadays? For influencer marketing, what needs to be done is a proper chalk out of plan needs to be done. And that is what the companies do. The first step that the companies follow is to understand what are the goals. What is it that is the reason why you need to, actually go and have this campaign run? Whether it is to boost the brand awareness, whether to approach a new set of customers, whether to increase the amount of engagement, or is there any other reason? So the goal, outlining the goal for the marketing marketing campaign is absolutely important. The next step is to research the target audience. We need to understand that when influencer marketing is used as a strategy or as a campaign, the target audience that you need to target has to be researched completely. What do you mean by research? Research related to who are your targets, what are their age groups, what are their likes and dislikes, what kind of interests that they have, what are the kinds of social media platforms they are found in. Because we need to understand that typically it is said that teenagers are found on TikTok. Maybe people from higher age groups are found on Facebook or on Instagram. So depending upon the audience, it needs to be understood that what kind of campaign can be rolled out. So that's the reason, since we've already discussed that social media influencers are having very select kind of followers following them. So based on the target audience also follows a influencer in a particular way. That's the reason it is important for us to understand, for the companies to understand and research the target audience. The next step is obviously the budget, the cost, because that is where a lot of cost is going to be incurred. A proper budget needs to be made for this particular campaign. Now, budgeting for the campaign itself, budgeting for, the cost is involved for hiring the influencer because he's the one who's going to be face of your brand. Cost also needs to be incurred for the various kind of discount offers that need to be given through the influencers, and so on and so forth. So once these steps are followed, you are very clear in the kind of goal, the audience that you have in mind, as well as the budget that you are allowed to set aside for the campaign to begin. Now comes the most critical step in influencer marketing, is to identify the influencer, because the right kind of influencer is going to either make your business, is going to make your campaign successful, or it is going to completely floor the campaign. So what are the steps involved in making a list of desired influencers? Now let me come to the next slide, because there are a lot of categories of influencers that are identified. Right from nano influencers, as you can see on the screen, to mega influencers. Now, this category is decided on the basis of the followers that are actually following the influencer. And so the followers anywhere between 1,000 to 10,000, if they are following an influencer, he is known as nano influencer. Micro influencers have followers anywhere between 10,000 and 50,000 followers. There's a new category of influencers, that is mid-tier influencers, where the number of followers are from 50,000, ranging between 50,000 to 5 lakh followers. Micro influencers are having followers anywhere between 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs. And mega influencers have followers which are more than 10 lakh followers. Now, if you see Shah Rukh Khan or Virat Kohli are mega influencers. But are they successful? We'll discuss that in a while. So when you have certain lists of followers based on the kind of industry that you have, so a particular set of questions need to be addressed by the brand, by the company who is looking out and venturing out for the influencer marketing campaign. Certain questions that need to be asked is, the followers that we are going to target, they are obviously are following a particular influencer because they are liking a particular thing. These followers are following the influencer because he is an expert in a particular niche. So that is the first question that is to be asked is, do these influencers that I, as a company or the company that selects, are these influencers making or creating relevant content? So the relevancy is decided based on the industry. For example, if Maruti wants to launch a new vehicle or say an Apple wants to launch a new iPhone or a new product or an accessory, they should end up selecting an influencer belonging or blogging about that particular industry specifically, because he will have a set of followers who are interested in either an automobile, in our first example, or are interested in cell phones and accessories in our second example. So depending upon the kind of content that the influencer is creating or relevancy for the industry, the follower should be, the influencer should be decided. The second question that needs to be asked is, there are many influencers who are making many content nowadays, but are they considered as the thought leader in that particular field? There might be 50, maybe hundreds of influencers, but are they the thought leaders? Because there is a lot of money involved, there is a lot of time involved, there is a lot of reputation involved from the companies and brand side. So they need to select an influencer who is going to be a thought leader. We've already discussed about the audience demography, but this also needs to be kept in mind that what kind of audience demography is following this particular influencer. Because you want a responsive audience, you want a responsive set of followers who are following this influencer, because their response is directly going to influence the success of your campaign. So that is the third question to be asked. What is the audience demography? The fourth question that has to be asked before finalizing an influencer is, do these influencer have a credible engagement ratio? You might see that when you're researching an influencer, that there are multiple influencers with many followers. But are they actually positively engaging with these followers is a question. So the engagement ratio should be pretty credible, because the moment your engagement ratio is high, that means higher is the chance that the campaign is going to be successful. These people, the consumers, are going to listen to these followers, they are going to react, they are going to respond. That's the reason it is very important to have to select an influencer who has a credible engagement ratio. The next question that has to be addressed is, does this influencer align with the philosophy of the brand? Does he align with the brand value that is trying to engage this influencer for a particular influencer marketing activity? Because you cannot have philosophically different brand ambassador, because the influencer is going to act as a brand ambassador for you, for the company. So if there is a disjoint in this alignment, it could lead to a contradiction in the belief system, and which might lead to the failure of this particular campaign. So you need to select a influencer who is aligned with the brand value of the company or the marketer who is engaging the influencer for influencer marketing campaign. The next question that needs to be answered is, has the influencer worked with similar kind of brands in the past? Because this again is a tricky kind of a question to answer, because an influencer is a face of the brand typically. So if he has already worked with a competitor, you might be into a catch-22 situation. The companies might be in a catch-22 situation, that should they select the same influencer to talk about their own campaign, to talk about their own brand. So this again is a very critical decision to make. And finally, does the influencer's values, aesthetic and personality fit the brand tone and messaging? A serious brand typically would avoid a influencer who has a comic touch. So similarly, such kind of an influencer should be selected who is in line with the aesthetics and value and brand personality of the brand, because that will catapult the entire messaging to the customers, to the followers of this influencer. So these are a couple of questions that needs to be asked before finalizing a particular influencer. Now, when this decision is made, when the answers to these questions is sought, there is one more critical thing that needs to be kept in mind, and that is what the companies, the brands also do. And that is, what is the engagement ratio and what kind of outputs that these influencers would get. Interestingly, it is recorded that nano influencers are the ones who have followers less than 10,000 are much more successful in influencing the right kind of a customer. Because see, if you have a Virat Kohli or a Shah Rukh Khan, the kind of followers that are following these personalities are of different age groups, different kind of likings. So they are following the person. They are not following the views, or they are not trying to emulate these people, because they don't consider them as a complete expertise or experts of various brands and various niche. But whereas when you have a nano influencer, for example, if I am a nano influencer and I'm into beauty products, I am considered to be more of an expert in talking about and advocating a beauty product than even maybe a Virat Kohli, because he is a cricketer. His expertise lies in sports, typically in cricket. So it is seen that nano influencers are more successful in this influencer marketing campaign than in fact mega influencers. So if you see this particular chart, nano influencer, micro influencers, who have followers ranging between 10,000 to 100,000 followers, followed by macro influencers. And if you see celebrity influencers and mega influencers are found to have the least amount of success rate when it comes to convincing their followers in terms of engaging with respect to a particular brand. So it's an interesting kind of a data. So when a company is trying to understand, or when a brand is trying to understand, they also keep this thing in mind, that people generally tend to believe a common face who is expert in a particular field, rather than trusting a celebrity, influencer, because they know that celebrities are paid very highly to advocate about the brand. So they have that sense of doubt in their mind, that should they completely believe these celebrities. Whereas that doubt nano influencers don't have, because they have seen this particular influencer talk sense, talk about the nitty-gritties, talk about the nuances of the product and the brand. So they end up believing the nano influencers more than the mega influencers. So if you see in the strategy of influencer marketing, the fourth step of making a list of desired influencers and arriving at an influencer itself is a very, very critical kind of a step which needs to be kept in mind, and which the company, which the brand, which the marketeer very, very carefully selects, because that is going to make or break the end result and the output, the success of the marketing campaign. The next step is then, in fact, engaging, trying to communicate, reaching out to the influencers for the engagement. This is where they rope in the influencer, try to, this is done by either getting their, contact details, emailing them, trying to, tell them about what kind of project they are interested into. And once the influencer is selected, the actual planning of the campaign begins. Now, planning generally happens on paper, and this is where even the influencer is taken into confidence. The first step that in planning also happens is, what is the goal of the campaign? Now, we initially started with goal of the entire influencer marketing. Now, that particular, under that influencer marketing also, what is the goal of the specific campaign that is being discussed? What is to be achieved? Whether the numbers have to be achieved or whether there is just the awareness that has to be achieved, it is very clearly demarcated. What is the brand, or the brand history is very clearly understood. What is being sold is understood. The timeline in mind is understood, and it is very clearly demarcated and communicated to the influencer. It does not stop there. This is the step where the company also hands over all the important assets of the company to the influencer, assets such as the various promo codes, the various hashtags that they want to use for this particular campaign. Is there any particular color scheme or theme that they have in mind so that this campaign can become successful, and so on and so forth. They also this is a place where, or this is the time where they also want to hand over, say, certain videos that they want to show through the influencer to their to the audience for a better engagement. So all of this is shared during this particular phase of the strategy. Now, the next one is where the execution of the campaign begins. This is again a very critical step, because this is where the company is also observing and monitoring the reaction of the followers for the influencer, and the kind of statements that he's making, the kind of engagement he's going through. And this is also a place where maybe certain kind of corrections can be made, because the timeline is very clearly understood, and they also want to see if there are certain corrections to be made for a better kind of an output. And finally, any campaign has to be measured through results. Now, results could have, measuring of the results will tell you what is the success of the campaign. Now, results can be either an engagement matrix. It can be measured through an engagement matrix. That means, what are the total number of likes, total number of comments, total number of shares that have happened of that particular post, and what is the kind of resonance that has happened between the influencer and his followers. Typically, the audience reaction is monitored here and measured here in this matrix. So this is called as an engagement matrix. The second matrix that is popularly used by brands is brand awareness matrix. Now, what does brand awareness matrix mean? It means what are the total number of views that have happened for that particular post or for that particular engagement that the influencer has done. What are the various clicks? What is the website traffic? Has it increased? Has it decreased? Is it remaining the same? Because through this kind of matrix, the success of the campaign is gauged. Because it is generally said that once the campaign is rolled out, what is desired is the interest level of the audience should go up. So that is what is measured in this kind of matrix, which is called as brand awareness matrix. The next kind of matrix that can be used by the marketeer is follower growth. They want to see. Yes, sir.
I think your slides are stuck up.
I am not changing the slides, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm sorry.
No, not an issue. So the next kind of matrix that is used is, so we talked about engagement matrix, wherein the likes and comments are monitored. The second matrix is brand awareness matrix, just to see whether there is a surge in the website traffic. The third kind of matrix that I was going to talk about was follower growth. That is, the company decides to check, or company keeps a track of the total number of followers, whether it has gone up, right? Because a particular influencer impact can be measured if the brand visibility has gone up, right? And the audience has expanded. So what was the total number of followers initially before the campaign was rolled out, and what is it? Has it gone up? If the followers also have gone up, that also suggests that there is a success of the campaign. And the final, the fourth kind of a matrix is called as inbound leads. How many customers have started making inquiries about the product or the brand that is being, discussed in this campaign? So if that has gone up, that also says that the campaign has succeeded. So if you see, the strategy is very clear. Typically, any marketing activity starts with goals and ends up with results. So that is exactly how even this process is followed in influencer marketing. The basic difference is making the selection of the correct influencer, because he is the one who is going to be deciding, who is going to be a deciding factor of whether your campaign succeeds, right? So, so is this the only way where influencer marketing happens? Is it that, okay, once I select the influencer, or once the company selects the influencer and that is what he is going to do? There are multiple other strategies used. And these are called as, has my slide changed, sir? Can you see the slide changing?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So that particular strategy is called as cross-platform strategy. So what do you mean by cross-platform strategy? So this is this is a strategy where the influencer marketing provide a versatile and strategic approach to reaching and engaging with a large range of audiences. And large range of audiences, not only on one platform, but diverse, multiple, different digital landscape. And the reason why this particular cross platform campaigns are done is to achieve maximum impact of influencer collaborations. Because you might see that many influencers are visible, are available on multiple platforms, multiple digital platforms. Say if an influencer A is available on Instagram, the same influencer is also available on TikTok, maybe on Snapchat, maybe on Twitter, maybe on Facebook. And more interestingly to observe is that they might have varied kind of followers on these multiple platforms. So if you see the reach that these influencers have will be of multiple ways. They might end up reaching to various different kind of followers through these different platforms. So this is again a very important strategy that is used by the companies to ensure that by using cross-platform campaigns, they are maximizing the impact of the influencer collaboration. So what are these strategies? Now, the first one is multi-channel strategy. Now, what does multi-channel strategy mean? It means that the companies are planning and executing marketing strategies across several channels and platforms. For example, at the same time, the company is engaging with different sets of customers on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. And when there is a collaboration, all of that, you'd end up seeing that a higher amount of engagement is possible with diverse kind of customers. That is called as multi-channel strategy, where the same influencer is engaging with different kinds of customers on different various kind of channels. The next kind of strategy is influencer diversity. Now, what do you mean by this? Since the platforms are different, the same message is transmitted by the same influencer in different ways. These influencers are skilled in creating different content which are tailored for each platform. Maybe when an influencer is making a video on a YouTube, he might have say 10, 15, 20 minutes of time to interact with the audience. But when it's Instagram, there is a limitation of time and space. But they are equally creative on both the platforms. So influencer diversity means when influencers have presence on multiple platforms and also equally proficient in creating a communication which are tailor-made for each platform, that in this way also the success of the engagement becomes a more, it goes up a notch and a higher amount of engagement is seen. The third kind of strategy that is seen is called as content adaptation. Now, as I was discussing, if you're on a YouTube, you have a 30, 40 minutes of time where you can maybe give a detailed description of the product, of the brand, of the company. But when it's Instagram, you have to curtail, you have to limit yourself with the kind of explanation you're giving. So each platform has their own advantages and disadvantages, and what is the expertise of the influencer to adapt to the content, to adapt the content to suit that particular platform. This also is an important strategy. Since we are talking about cross-platform campaigns, one thing that needs to be kept in mind is being consistent with the brand messaging. You cannot contradict yourself. The influencer cannot contradict himself. If he's saying something on YouTube, the same message should be delivered on the other platforms as well. So consistent brand messaging is again a very important strategy to keep in mind, because that might lead to a problem situation wherein you might end up discussing different things on different platforms, which might be detrimental for the entire campaign. The next kind of strategy under this is audience segmentation. Now, as I have already discussed, that you will have a certain kind of audience on a Twitter. They are supposed to be audience who understand crisp messages, who are very sophisticated in nature. But wherein on TikTok, you'll have a very young audiences. Somebody who is seeking for a detailed kind of explanation, you'll find such kind of an audience on YouTube, and so on and so forth. So audience segmentation also has to be very clearly understood, and you should be using, the company uses with the help of influencers, these platforms very effectively. They also end up having amplification of engagement. Now, what does amplification of engagement mean? It means that the influencer encourages, it might also be a possibility that the same follower is following the influencer on multiple platforms. So for better information, the influencer encourages these followers to join him on the other platform for more detailed kind of information on the brand and the company. So that is called as amplification and engagement. The next is tracking and measurement. As we've already discussed how to track the success of the campaign, this tracking and measurement also will give you a better idea that which platform is doing much better, so that you can, the company can focus on that particular platform, and better returns can be sought of. The next kind of strategy that can be used under cross-platform campaigns is content repurposing. Now, what do you mean by content repurposing? See, when an influencer is posting a content on one particular platform, this content can be shared by his followers on various other platforms. For example, if I see a video on say Facebook and I like it and I believe in it and I want my friends and my relatives to know about it, I can share the same video on my different other platforms, and that will ensure that the longevity of that particular messaging goes up a little bit higher in notch. And finally, diversified content formats. Now, there are different kinds of, there are variety of content formats that include videos, messages, blogs, posts, even live streaming. They all can act as an important technique and important tool for the influencer marketing to engage with the customers much more effectively. So cross platform campaigns also work extremely well, and the companies also need to help these influencers to understand that who are their audiences, what kind of influencing they expect the influencer to do for better returns in terms of better engagement, better conversion ratio, and so on and so forth. Now, since this particular topic is such an interesting and vast topic, covering it in 1 hour is really challenging, but I'm trying my best to do it. So let us now talk about what do you mean by the innovative campaign formats that are now very, very recently seen. We started with Queen's Wear, where the potter decided to use only the favor of the queen in his advantage. But we've moved from that and come to today, where we have a lot of technological advancements in marketing also used, a lot of AI, a lot of virtual reality, a lot of augmented reality. So the future is where you are engaging, where the influencer is trying to engage with the customer in terms of interactive storytelling. Where in this campaign, what the influencer does is he invites the audience to participate in narrative and in most decision making, and tries to encourage them to give a different part to the storyline that he's trying to communicate. Because he is involving the customers, his followers, there is a high amount of engagement that is seen, and which becomes very, the key to success. User generated content is also a very, very useful campaign, wherein the influencer is encouraging the customers or users to create and share content related to the brand or product, often through certain contests and challenges. Now, the best example that I can think of is was used by dark fantasy. Now, if you remember, this particular campaign was rolled out by dark fantasy, where they asked the audiences, the influencers also asked the audiences to click their picture and upload it on a particular site, wherein the advertisement with Shah Rukh Khan, you could see yourself in that advertisement. So if you see here, you could the audience or the customers only needed to click their pictures and upload, and this ad used to get played with your own picture in it. So this led, so many people wanted to be a part of a particular ad where they were able to see themselves with Shah Rukh Khan, and this was a very, very successful kind of a campaign. So such kind of augmented reality or virtual reality or user-generated contents can be used to ensure that there is a lot of success in terms of the engagement. A lot of other techniques, other techniques and other campaign formats such as live streaming also is very successful. Gamification, shoppable contents where there is a link provided by the influencer to directly go and shop using a promo code also engages the customer much more better. And so on and so forth. So with this, I think I can stop here, because if you go ahead, there is a lot to discuss. But I know since Dr. Behare is appearing on the screen, we are running short of time. So over to you, Dr. Behare.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Actually, I was going through this through some comments. So people have, I believe, by reading their comments, people have also enjoyed this session, because they have given a lot of positive comments to this discussion. A question came to my mind is, So, what are the mistakes that an influencer must avoid during this influencer marketing, as well as the brand? What kind of care that brand has to take when they appoint any particular influencer?
Well, interestingly, as I was mentioning in the steps that need to be very carefully taken when you are selecting an influencer, that is the biggest step and the most critical step that the company should be very careful of. Because see, when you are if you end up selecting a wrong influencer, obviously the campaign cannot result to a right kind of a success. So you need to understand whether the influencer is genuine in nature. Genuinity, what do you mean by genuinity? It means whether he has the correct followers that are following him, whether the engagement ratio is good, or whether and what kind of a quality does the followers have. As in, now for example, if you look at an influencer, if you're trying to study the influencer, fake influencers will have low engagement rate. They will not have people engaging with these followers. They hardly see any comments given on their posts, anything. So that means the followers have low engagement rate. So you would obviously want to ignore or avoid such kind of an influencer, because if he is not having the ability to influence his followers, he will not be able to make the impact that you are desiring. You will also find influencers where you will see that there is a spike in their number of followers. Now, this can be because of two reasons. The genuine influencers could have a spike in the followers because there was a certain post of theirs that went viral. And since that post went viral, the number of followers increased. Those are genuine influencers. But what do you mean by fake followers, fake influencers? Now, if you see a surge in the follower ratio, it means that these influencers are buying the followers. They are trying to influence or get the followers by paying them some amount of money. See, it is very clear that the total number of followers do not rise overnight. It is a gradual increase that is seen. You and me also cannot have, say, 10 followers today and 1 lakh followers tomorrow. There has to be a gradual trend. So either I'll pay you to become my follower, or I'm sharing something that overnight got viral and there was an increase.
Right.
So this mistake should be avoided. The company should be very clear in identifying the kind of influencer they select. Because if they go and choose such kind of a influencer, obviously they are doomed, because they know that they have wasted money, they are going to be wasting time, because there will be hardly any engagement that is going to be possible.
Right. Okay, so dear participants, the forum is open for question and answer. You can post your questions in the chat box. So meanwhile, any question arises, I have one more question. So can you throw some light on the influencer marketing tools to track the success of influencer marketing campaign?
Well, this itself is a huge topic wherein you can have a lot of discussions. And if you have a lab and if there is a proper system there, you need a lot of time to even understand this. I can at least give you certain names of tools that can be used by the marketeer, the company, the brand, to track the success. Not only success, but also there are various platforms available, various tools available wherein you can not only discover the influencers, but also analyze their success ratio. Now, the first and most easy tool that comes to the mind is Google Analytics and social media insights. As this particular tool generally tracks website traffic and social media engagement, resulting from the influencer campaign. This is the most common tool that most of us already know. When it comes to influencer marketing, there are certain tools available, such as Hootsuite. There is Aspire IQ. Affluence is one of the tool. Influencity is one of the tool. Now, for example, if I take the example of Influencity, Influencity is particularly a comprehensive influencer marketing platform that offers influencer discovery, It offers the analytics, that is what kind of engagement he had, what kind of impact he is getting because of the campaign, and overall the campaign management features. So there are multiple tools that can can be studied. These are very expensive also, but very critical in the success and measuring the success of the campaign.
Dr. Vijay Bhaskar have asked one question. He's asking, can you please give a concrete example of FMCG and white goods
for influencer marketing?
Right.
Well, if you see the example that I took just now, that is of dark fantasy, is under the FMCG,
right.
wherein the influencers are used. Not only that, white goods, it could be, see, when you are using influencer who has a niche of accessories, who has a niche of digital engagement with the consumers, you can definitely use these influencers to push. Now there are many unboxing videos that you can see, unboxing videos of the latest devices, latest mobile phones. That itself acts as an influencer marketing, because everybody likes. And what is the mentality of using such kind of videos? Right. All of us, you and me, love to open a present. So there is a reason why they are making such kind of videos, because they are actually opening it. They are opening the box, the brand new box. They are opening the cover. They are switching it off for the first time. They are making the consumers see, and then finally they are also giving their expert opinion. So you'll see many such videos where unboxing is shown, wherein the way the product is going to be received by the customer, the kind of accessories that accompany with these kind of products, all is very clearly depicted in the video. And if you see, these videos will immediately have a lot of comments also under it. So that is one example that I can think of. And it becomes a very successful kind of a campaign. And you'll see these kind of influencers repeatedly using these unboxing videos. Some influencers also have named their, social media names by unboxing. So very effective tool.
One last question from audience side. Dr. Kavita has asked, since I'm a nano influencer, how can I further increase my reach and followers?
Well, ma'am, Kavita ma'am, you're the most luckiest influencer, because nano influencers have the most adherent followers. Yes, the thing that you need to do is keep on doing what you're doing right now. As I said, if you have to be a genuine influencer, it has to happen gradually. It cannot happen overnight. Make videos, make content which is liked by your followers. Your followers themselves give you hints of how to make a video. What is liked by them, repeat that. Certain videos will definitely get viral. Try to engage with them, maybe a little bit of contest, maybe a little bit of asking them to contribute in your decision making. Will obviously take your number of followers to a higher level. But nothing done overnight is going to last forever.
So actually there is one more question.
Yes.
I feel that one is more interesting. So Vidwanshi has asked a question. So she said, hello ma'am, as an audience, people tend to follow whatever the influencers are doing. And even if something is not good for the audience, and still the influencers are promoting it, and these influencers are also not using it for themselves as well as, but they are doing this for promotions out of their own benefits. So don't you think it's pretty unfair for the audience?
Well, if you see, when we started with this particular topic, the first thing that I mentioned is people believe in these influencers.
Right.
And the credibility of these influencers lies in this belief. So many a times, if you look at the various videos and reels, very clearly they mention that it is a promotional video. Why? Because the influencer themselves don't want to compromise their credibility. They know they are telling the audience very upfront that whatever I'm going to show it in this video is a promotional video. If they are not doing it, what will happen is, once they might be able to fool their followers, twice, But the moment they understand that that they are lying, the followers, it hardly takes a time to unfollow such kind of influencer. So the influencer will hardly take a risk of losing out on their followers, because their credibility will be at stake. That's the reason even when I was explaining the steps that the brands need to take while deciding a influencer, that is exactly what I mean, that what is the kind of followers they have. So very rarely it would be found that, and if the influencer is doing it, he stands a high chance of losing out on his followers.
Right. Dear audience, just because of lack of or shortage of time, we will not be able to take any more questions. But as it is related to the academics, I have to take this question. Dr. Vidhita Sinha is asking, ma'am, can you please suggest some further reading materials or books on this topic?
Well, reading material in books, I have my LinkedIn account very clearly mentioned there. Please connect with me so I can share a list of reading material and books, because I'll not be able to dictate it right now, and neither will the audience be able to write it here. So my LinkedIn, I'll quickly share my LinkedIn ID here.
So, dear audience, as it was only given an hour to share the thoughts.
That was really unfair, but I can understand, because this such kind of a vast topic cannot be covered in an hour. But I tried to give justice to the best of my capabilities.
Yes, ma'am. So, dear audience, as we bring this illuminating knowledge sharing session on influencer marketing 2.0 strategies for the modern era to close, it's my privilege and pleasure to express our heartfelt gratitude to all the individuals who have contributed to the success of this event. First and foremost, a sincere, resounding vote of thanks goes to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Rashmi Mahajan. Her insights, wisdom, and profound knowledge have added immeasurable value to our discussion. I would also like to express our gratitude to Mr. Sudhir Sharma, President of AIMS, Dr. G.K. Shirode sir, Regional Vice President, Western Region, AIMS, for their unwavering support and commitment to hosting the event of such quality and relevance. Their dedication in promoting education and knowledge sharing is really, really commendable. I would also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to all the board members of AIMS, then Secretariat of AIMS, whose dedication and commitment have helped to steer this event towards the success. Last but not the least, I extend my gratitude to all the participants. Your active involvement, your insights, your questions, your engagement in the discussion have really enriched the quality of the event. It's our enthusiasm that fuels the spirit of the knowledge sharing and makes these sessions truly meaningful. Your contribution have not only made today's event informative, but have also nurtured the spirit of learning and collaboration. So, dear participants, dear organizers, the guests, thank you all, and we look forward for many more such enlightening sessions in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coordinating this event. I thank AIMS also for giving me this opportunity. And thank you to all my lovely audience for patiently listening to me as well as encouraging me. I can see a lot of messages on the chat box, and I hope to connect with each one of you over LinkedIn. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, organizers.